Hey guys, it's Geography Lover here. Welcome back to another brand new video. And today we're looking at events in the 1950s, and this is the fourth episode in our saga of our events in the decades. And let's get started. So first up, we're going to start with politics yet again. There were two presidents that served during the 1950s. The 33rd president, Harry Truman, served from 1945 to 1953 as he took over after FDR. As I mentioned in the last video, he served for 3 years during the decade, and then the rest of the decade was served by the 34th president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, who served from 1953 to 1961. He won the 1952 and 1956 elections, defeating Adlai Stevenson twice. Some scandal/wars were the Korean War, which lasted from 1950 to 1953, and that was in both North and South Korea. But the war didn't officially end until 2018 when there was signed an armistice. But there was another scandal during this time would be the spread of communism, and which was part of the Cold War against the Soviet Union. So some fashion and tech. So we have a different camera, which is more has more like settings to it, a little bit different design, different type of radio, which is more of a boxy design instead of it being like a whole like a different type, and a telephone as well, which was the rotary style telephone, so a little bit different than the candlestick phone or the original Alexander Graham Bell phone. So for fashion, we have Marilyn Monroe here. She's a famous actress. We also have some greasers here. We have John Travolta wearing a outfit from Grease, from the musical. Women also wore some short dresses, some longer dresses. A lot of them had their hair to their shoulders, so a little bit longer than they were in the 40s and 30s. So entertainment and music. A famous artist from the time was Elvis Presley, who released Jailhouse Rock. That was this music video. This also has the records and a jukebox, which used to play music, and usually they were found at a diner or any kind of local place. They also had the drive-in theaters that you could watch a movie from your car. Some popular movies from the decade were Singing in the Rain, which starred Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds. 12 Angry Men, A Rebel Without a Cause, which stars James Dean. Walt Disney's Cinderella movie, Sunset Boulevard, and Some Like It Hot, which starred Marilyn Monroe as well in that one. Again, some more wars. We have, as I said, the Korean War, which lasted from 1950 to 1953, and the Civil Rights Movement, which started in the 50s, especially during the 1954 Brown v. Board of Education, which was a Supreme Court decision allowed for the end. Was the end of segregation in some certain states. In the South, they kind of kept it because of the Jim Crow laws, which were eventually abolished in the 60s, but they still existed in the 50s in the South. So the economy in the 50s had one of the best economies in U.S. history, with the economic boom from the new industries developing. The boom was caused by the victory at the end of World War II. By the growing population that occurred, veterans were able to start down and have families. This was also during the time that was called the baby boom, so the population ended up growing as well. The economy was also allowed people to move freely to western states, especially like California, to help create companies and help shape the world that we have today. So some culture from the golden 50s. We have Backstreet Bingo, Fuzz, Big Tickle, Knuckle Sandwich, Ankle Biter, and Beatnik. And as I mentioned, there was a drive-in theater here, which you used to be able to go with your car to watch movies with friends or family. And this is a rundown diner, but the diners look like this, as this is a rundown version, like a modern AI-generated picture, but they looked like this, except they were actually not trashed. And these were the cars. They were very big, big front to them, big back to them. They didn't only have seatbelts then. They really didn't have that, or headrests during the cars, so the cars were a little bit different than today. So the end of the decade, the 50s ended on December 31st, 1959. The decade helped shape the graduation of the growth of population, the economy, and the changing parts of society, which led to one of the biggest booms in history. The decade also created much due to different roles of people, and also created a new culture between the older and younger generations. which we can still feel today. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.